on Nuke quite the way that they did. For Fiend, it's an opportunity now as they set themselves up for their own map pick. Mirage, historically, fantastic for the Bulgarians, but they've never faced an opponent of the ranking of complexity. So as the pistol round gets started, this one could be a very interesting show. They're on the T side as they get straight into the A default. Set piece out with the smoke down to connect the jungle and stairs, and they'll get the bomb plant as complexity back off.
It seems like the team's not even pressed the fight out towards CT. Dreamer dealing with JKS straight away, and now they just keep coming.
Blame F and Hard, and Blame F getting kills. Appropriate. Hard can double up of his own accord. 3 versus 2, and 1 and none. Dreamer, double and a triple in for the man of Fiend with a confident pistol to start off their pick.
Jeez, they weren't messing around in that pistol, were they? We saw how quickly JKS out from CT just fell back into a retaking position, wait for the stack to rotate into the A side, but the T's just wanted to keep fighting and keep pressing forward and forward. Dreamer gets away with 3 in the round, and for Fiend, that is a very dominant way to start off their campaign of Mirage.
Straight storm into the A set piece, as we've seen them do time and time again on pistol round strats. They perfected this strategy. It's worked out well for them here to get the one up against complexity in the pistol. Not quite the one up against them so far here in the full spy round. The Eagles had scouts out, the nades involved with the utility set, and Bubble and Hard are tagged up. Bubble in particular, less than 30 HP.
Getting in towards top of connector relatively quickly, just getting that molly to force config into ladder, and there is a bit of a crossfire being set up by the CTs out from mid, but it seems to just be a B split for the T's.
4-2 players seen by the Deagle and config, and many with Deagle's shots, but he does connect the kill in the end alongside Rush facing in from the B site itself, looking down shore, but unable to connect the frag. Victor overwhelms him and yet stoned by Blame F. Fantastic headshot for him, but the bomb can get planted.
They are a little bit late to actually getting teammates in the right position on the site itself. Config's so wide out for that short position, and Dreamer punishes that overextension.
Finally, the plant will be secured as they tap through. They catch up Bubble with a straight bullet there. Blame F again spamming away with the Deagle. Dreamer responds towards it. Gilly, the Red Star struggles with the spray, but does connect it together in the end. And JKS, well, now just hunting for a rifle, I think, at this point. I don't think he has much left in this round.
Try to take a little bit of a fight onto the bench player, but Dreamer has started off with multi-kills of 3 in a row. Fiend getting up to that second, forced by coming through for complexity, but just not being able to find the conversion. And they started the round off really nicely. That nade placement up to top mid, the tag to come in from Blame F's Eagle. They did the early damage, but it just didn't replicate into enough kills to get that retake together.
Taking her back nice and easy. The 2-0 start. Pistols in the basic eco now for the complexity side. Blame has bought Deagle and had Kevlar, so there's a little bit of investment coming in for them, and they're going to make that investment work pretty well for them. Rush, opening frag. PT-15 instead of the Deagle itself, and now that T-side will just pull back out into the ace, like that bomb to get down, planted very quickly here. Only lost 1 man up towards top and mid. It's a UMP picked up by Poison. Not much else here for complexity.
Might as well see if they can look for some extra kills, hope to do some further damage, and pretty much just all come in from Con.
Victor comes up with the first kill back here for the Fiend side. Return by Poison and Rush, and they get a 4 versus 2 for this. Dreamer and Red Star get their crossfire to lock out. They deal with a couple of CTs, but not all of them. Red Star now 1 versus 2. Blame F has tagged him. P250 now out for the man. JKS facing USP on even footing and gets the headshot in as the defuse should just about come through in time. It will be a little bit close for Blame F, but I think Cole have this round.
Jeez, what an eco. That is really unbelievable to come through for complexity, get the defuse forward, be able to hold on to a couple of AKs, and a little bit of a smirk there from the complexity players. Rush and Poison up on screen. They know that they probably shouldn't have won that round.
I want to steal there from the CT forces and Fiend. They did have a bit of an awkward buyback into this round. I imagine they're going to force the issue anyway, and yes, they are. AK's out, Galil, Mac 10. Mac 10 only going to be effective against Config with one of the 2 AWPs in play. Complexity seemingly loving this double AWP setup over on Nuke. They're going to bring it back out for Mirage. Wonder if it will have similar effect here against Fiend.
Just anti-rush nades coming through from Rush, getting that HE quite deep into the apartments, but being evaded by the majority of them.
Rush has seen 1. Red Star coming out of the gate here. Molotov involved. Great shot for Config. Sees 1. Lands the leg shot on Hard. Rush comes forward. That pick back. Victor follows suit on Config. 4 versus 3. Bomb will get to sight. Victor gets Rush next up for his 2K. And the evens will go as the bomb will be secured. Complexity only now getting to retake positions.
They're so slow on this one. This really just looks like it's going to be a save call. When you don't have players in retaking positions, you just hold onto your weapons and don't even go for it. What a start that was to the round. The early sort of information gathering from Rush just on the jump out, try and fall back towards the side, get that crossfire locked with the AWPer of Config, but it was Victor recovering the round. A couple of really important and quick headshots from him.
Yeah, he gets tagged up quite significantly for it, but comes out on top regardless. Yeah, third back to the board of the Fiend at camp, and it's the response against Complexity's first round. Knock them back a peg, keep their own economy in line. There should be a rebuy here for the CT side though, so yeah, AK's passed around, rifle should get dropped in. Should be seeing the full guns back here for the CTs.
Complexity, need to keep it tight from the beginning, I want to say, out here on Mirage. If you give the breathing room for Fiend to start getting a little bit comfortable, a little bit more loose, and just allow the individuals to really fire up, that's where they can start developing a really strong lead up on this T side. AWP from Hard just getting boosted in, but no one even crossing out, so no opportunity there for a strike.
Incendiary is out, Rush into the apartments. And he's fallen away. Rush still looking up for the play here. The utility set and ready to go for the four-man play up towards the apartments. One player can also split in from short if he can get there in time. He's got to get to the likes of Blame F. Meanwhile, Rush and Config sat back and ready. M4 with a spray out, drops that bomb. Bubble does find poison. Config can respond towards Victor. 2-for-2 trade. Bomb site slightly conceded, but Config dips back in to get his kill. Also, Blame F finding Bubble, so it's all to Han. The AWP picked up. The frag found of the first man. Bomb still dropped out in the open. He smokes down the site itself, but needs to pick it up and plant it.
Yeah, it all just comes down to the timing here. What does he prefer? AK AWP go back over to the rifle, and for Complexity, they're playing this really cautiously and passive in market.
And the bomb plant in for this. 1 on 2. Swings up. Catches a tag on JKS. No frag for him. Thrown away from the apartments. Flashes over. CT's facing in right now here towards market entrance. And market window. Window player seen. Spray goes right behind. 46 HP. Oh, the tap to the head is beautiful. Triple not going to get the clutch. JKS just denies at the last second. Oh, what a hold there from Han. It almost came through for him.
Oh, it did. That was really, really close. That was a nice try on that clutch situation, but JKS just getting the better of him. What a tap to come through from Han. And it all really just started with wasting as much time as possible, getting the instant headshot onto Blame F, but no more than that. A good recovery coming through for Complexity, and straight away, the Bulgarians take attack.
This one's playing out pretty similar to the way things went down over on Nuke. Except Fiend are the ones that are currently in the lead here. Complexity. Ready to take a couple of issues from several positions on their part. Three to 2 for the moment here for the T side line. Fiend are going to get caught up to that bomb plant. Will help them rebuy back into this. Still will be limited though. Couple of deagles out for the T side. I don't think there are any drop rifles in spawn either.
Complexity are getting to a bit of a point now where they're going to get tested here on this map. Fiend, they've got a lead, but it's not up by a lot. We might see a bit of a crashing out from mid, actually, from Blame F.
There's up towards Rappin. Victor caught first and foremost against Blame. Kill found for Fiend and a fantastic start. The man drops and the T side set up for the hit.
And rather than just getting that initial 5-on-4, just playing out the default, they just start regrouping, get out for the simple A take, and Complexity, they're putting so much emphasis out on mid now that A is just open.
I imagine if A gets hit and they can't retake it, they might just save the weapons here. Smokes up, flashes over 2 CTs, will try to get up to position here at the stairs. They're not going to boost one on top of the other. Bit of a gap to open that smoke, actually. They might not need it. Yes, JKS finds Victor close. Red Star up point blank here amongst the CT forces. Sprays Manic. Config drops in and gets 2. Dreamer trades it back over. Red Star still holding. He's found by Rush and Dreamer all that remains. Deagle out in another 1v3 clutch scenario. Complexity will equalize.
How did that happen? Red Star was literally in the stairs position. He jumped on top of Red Star, got down into Sandwich, got a multi-kill of a couple of kills. Config, I don't know how he got away with that one.
That was a very stunning play from him. Snuck around the man, didn't see the feet. He was so focused on Han and Bubble, but I think if he had given a bit more breathing room, that would have been a triple, and that round will still fall away at complexity either way. What a fantastic play from Config, and well, Fiend are being tested here, and their roadmap pickle the same as the pistols get cleaned up by the rifles. 2 and 4 kills, 1 AWP kill, 1 AK kill, 1 response kill from Bubble, and now he's the last man standing.
He's got the M4 back, but really just going to try and look to do a little bit more damage in it. Nice spray transfer coming through from Flame. Rush progressing out for the apartments. Might actually get dealt with by the wall bang. Okay, that's something being found here.
Nade on Config as well. Follow up from HG. Misses out, unfortunately. Counter action from the CT side is also a little bit more unfortunate here. They're going to keep the right position, though. Swings into a double, still gets a kill back off for it. So all in all, 3 casualties. That's not bad. And complexity going to take some damage. And with the early game, economy just constantly swinging back and forth between T and CT sides, there is no major build here. The CTs are going to be affected by that.
Yeah, they'll be happy about that eco. That is a lot of damage coming in for what is essentially just a Glock round. There really was not a lot of upgrades at all there from Fiend. It's the streak of 3 in a row. Yeah, the economy in terms of the reserve is going to be relatively low, and with that single round loss bonus now, you can only imagine an instant reset potential.
Oh, another fantastic nade up towards the Sniper's Nest. Blame F. Finds Han and Victor, tagging Han in particular to 51 points of HP. And again, complexity, their main differential is going to be their individual skill, their experience, top end of the scene. Fiend has suffered to that so far enough. Lead taking away on their own map pick. They'll try and fight to get it back.
Config aggressed out towards his short position. Doesn't exactly have that much support around him. He does have the crossfire out from window itself. Get that smoke down, force off the angle, but he wants to re-peek.
Even the T side of that bit on inverted cover as well. Poison up close. Gets the kill. Red Star focusing on Victor. Oh! Double no scope all the way. JKS responds to Dreamer. Han gets a pick back. Bubble is also going to find his kill. 2 on 2. The bomb is dropped, but it's an even man standing.
It gets a bit chaotic, but now it gets slowed down. Han has got to find another pick out from mid, and from Rush, he's just not really giving him the angle from short.
So far, backed up with Flame F wins the fight, and Bubble and Rush does peek in to catch off the interim frag as well. Both M4 stay in. AK even recovered for 1 man over on the CT side. But Poison though, man, like no one adjusting against him here for the Fiend side, and I cannot believe that second no-scope hit and everything. Connecting that 4th round in a row for the complexity side, now leading by 2, and I think the money's finally been broken here for the T side.
He was so out of position. You almost never see AWPers play top com when it's smoked like that, and you've already heard the util coming through. They knew that connector control was being taken, but still a stunning couple of shots. And for Fiend, they're on the eco, desperate for just a bomb plan, and just try and see if you could do some further economical damage to the opposition.
Heads up, bursts through. Victor catches the kill on JKS. Flashes out. Bubble extend out towards the CT spawn. Config catches that 1 frag and a second. Does not deny the bomb plant. Victor is trade frag, so 3-on-3 situation for the retake.
And they've got an M4, but the problem is the tagged up players. Han and Victor don't really have a lot of HP. Dreamer's got to be the one to find the impact.
All 3 players walking in from connector and jungle. On a walk out of bench for Blame F, cannot see Han, he's backed up passive. Smoke for Poison, kits on him and his other teammates as well. Deagle finally fragged out here, time's running short though, complexity, got to get on the bottom quick. At the corner, M4 lines up, Deagle gets dealt with, and now they can set the defuse for definitive this time. Be a bit close for Poison actually. Okay, he's just got it. He's just got it, just about. Fiend, again, another eco round they can be happy with though. Only pistols, 3 casualties, bomb plant, and rifles are out.
You'd still imagine it's a little bit frustrating though. When you look at some of these eco rounds, they're almost doing more damage than the rifle rounds. So when you think about that from a mentality standpoint, it doesn't feel good knowing that when you've got the Deagles forward, the rounds are just creating a little bit more magic.
Fiend. And wherewithal to go for the set piece again towards the A site. They have worked this set piece so well in the past. But Poison still catches that first player in. Aggressive peek from Han, gives up a shoulder, that's enough. The M4 JKS, 2 players back to the border. Victor off first and foremost. Dreamer gets dropped as well. 2 standing now. Or pick up another frag. And blamF finishes off Red Star. A flawless round for Complexity. And I thought Fiend were going to put the smokes up. They didn't even bother with that.
They look flat here, Fiends. They just don't look like they're going to hit the highs that we've seen from them in the past. They're having a really difficult time being able to deal with these rifles, and even for Poison, just an Orb dual dry coming out from Han, the swing out from Palace, the way that JKS just slightly moves out to the right-hand side, instant headshot onto Dreamer, and the flick from Poison. Everyone is just hitting their on-point reactions here for Complexity, and Fiend just aren't challenging.
And the T side having some troubles now. As you mentioned, looking a bit flat in these latest few rounds. Bubble does find the opening kill on blamF at least. One jump in face of the CT side, also gets info towards the apartments config. Will get forced back as well. They'll have some information. But they are going for the B here. That bomb is in apps.
Yeah, Config still very aggressive up to the short position. Timing, tries to put the nade down. Victor looked like he was pushing forward, but not going to go further than that. Bubble gets another kill now.
2 now for Fiend. Spray back Config, deals with Victor next up. Sprays back against him, 21 points of health as he tags so heavily, but gets hard through the smoke. And that play could be enough to buy a chance back for Complexity. JKS now, looking up from ramp, heard 2 players drop off. Well, look out Sandwich, look out CT. Bomb down on default, he could not see the player, he does now. Find his pick back, looking for Red Star next up, knows that he's somewhere in Sandwich, gets a tag, but not a frag for Mars and AK. Now up to go for the retake here. They've got kits, but one player is so low. Swapping out to both of the AKs here. Rush not being spotted by Bubbles on the defuse right now. In towards CT. His back's turn to swing out. Gets found. Config 1v2.
And now they're just not peeking on the T side. Play the time, play the 2v1, allow Config just to go in for the save, finally peek out to get that last final bit of information to know that he's saving. And for Fiend, you've got to give the MVP to Bubble in that round. The way in which he gets that first dry pick towards TopCon, sneaks in the window room, looking to go out for market, follows up with a double, and then he gets a 3rd kill of the round 2.
Despite that, still 1 play from short was enough to almost bring in the comeback there for Complexity. European mixes are a very powerful thing indeed, as these guys are proving. They had 6 rounds on the trot, now interrupted by 1 from the Fiend camp. And the money is a concern for me. It does see a rebuy, but you can see the limited amount of utility for Poison and blamF, and hundreds of dollars per player. Nothing massive coming in for another investment round. Complexity have got to take this one on the chin. They can seal it and go back down to Eco. For now, they get a slight start on Victor.
This could be quite pacey out to the B side. You've got that single lurk from Bubble in mid. Everyone else in the apartments are just going to run it.
What a read from Rush, knowing exactly where Victor's going to peek out from. Ladder room also being left open by blamF. He'll let them cross back and lull them into a full sense of security. Back to turn. Bomb carrier seen! He lines it up on hard, not catching Bubble, unfortunately, but still, the 2 frags come in for the T side line, and Complexity might already be looking to save.
Jeez, Bubble again. He's honestly having the series of his career. When I look at just the way in which he is performing out in the first map, now on here in Mirage, so many round-defying plays from him in terms of the multi-kills.
I think he almost lined up and gave the spray down from a short control for blamF. Now Poison caught at the AWP to drop. Fiend finding 5, Complexity now down to the dumps. I don't think a rebuy's on the table. I think if the AWP had stayed in, they might be able to get some sort of half-T around this setup, but now there's really nothing they can do here. Nothing will be left for them in this round.
Yeah, they're not quite double eco status, are they? Because they're not on that single round loss bonus, so they've got a little bit more behind them. There's 2,400 in the next round, but you're right about that. Just keep it light. Keep the M4 in play, maybe have a bait set up, try something a little bit more aggressive, try and catch Fiend off guard, but at least it turns like Fiend finding a little bit of footing back in this game. Bubble being a really, really key figure in those last couple of rounds. It gets them up to 5. The deficit's only 2 now.
Yeah, Complexity leading by a margin, and Fiend is going to bring that margin closer and closer. And get the guns out for round 14 here for Complexity, at least, so they'll have that little bonus. Ooh, pixels away from blamF being spotted. He's really got to swing out, get the 1 frag, only the 1. Red Star and Dreamer respond towards them, get the A site under their wraps.
They haven't missed that Tom Con smoke, so that could allow a little bit of a sightline for the M4 of JKS, but even for Red Star, just working with the aggression, gets another frag out from jungle, and now Config and JKS is just looking for damage.
Config especially, JKS is best to save the M4. Maybe catch off on AK, maybe upgrade to that if possible, but you don't count on it here for complexity. Smoke up, keep Config at bay. Throw it around away, give 6 back to the Fiend's side. Config will be hunting for some sort of pick back here. Dream. Oh, just caught off. There you go. A little bit extra damage being done. Sticking around for a little bit more. Unfortunately, he's not as successful. Bubble might go up with the bomb depending on how close to the blast he is. I think he'll just get away alive though. Yeah, that'll be fine. 6 to the board. Fiend within 1. Complexity. Now for the buy.
Yeah, complexity been slowed down just a little bit here. We did see that even in scenarios out in the first map, their map pick, that Fiend did find some confidence for some decent streaks, but it was really when complexity got back on the offensive is when they started striking the most. And you almost wonder with this CT side how much more leniency there actually is, because 7 rounds, it's okay. If they can push it to 8 or 9, they'll definitely feel comfortable going into the second half.
That flashes over, sprays Manic through the smoke. Config's M4 finds the kill on Victor. Rush follows suit with the kill back in his own right. Another player caught up by Rush's aggression. Config steals it away, but still a massive play from those 2 short players. And Red Star with it all to do. Flanked in by Poison as well. I think he might have been heard. Either way, he gets his frag, and complexity take the half.
Jeez, what a confidence display that was. I love the aggression coming through from complexity there, just getting up close and personal. Config just working with Rush. Those 2 guys just would not stop fragging, continuing to press forward. Little bit of a bait going out towards the B site in terms of Poison, but finding that last trade, recovering the double AWP setup, and even getting an AK for Blame F to work with in the next round.
Double ops now in for round 15. Complexity have plenty to work off of. Been lacking in the full buy rounds overall. I mean, still managed to get 8 overall. Poison that finds the likes of Bubble to kick things off in this one. This could be their 5th full buy round going their way. To close out the half, that'll be everything.
Just so many eyes on mid, isn't it? Even for Fiend. How do you get mid-control back? You've got to really fight fire with fire, and you've got to imagine that Victor's not going to be able to do that alone. If they want to try and retake this mid-control, they need more than 1 guy.
Nades on. Damage up on Victor in minimal amounts to get away from that cubby corner. That nade is designed to do. Blame F with his face up. He's so close towards mid position. The AWP also out there. Blame F takes his face, takes his damage, but gets the kill away. Continuing to suppress the Fiend camp. 5 on 3.
Draven just trying to make a play out for Palace, gets away with 1, but that was so high risk, high reward, only gets away with 1. Han does trade out the short player, but someone's going to have to go back and get the bomb.
The Red Star surely, Han suppressing all sorts of angles, still working into the short control, getting Blame F next up, and now with the kills on the A site, they're going to have to go ahead and commit towards it, I'd say. They have baited in a rotation, there's possibility they can wrap back through underpass and go towards the B site, and yes, that's what they're going to do.
Time is low, very, very low, and the bomb's even coming out from mid. The window play could be out of... No, Red Star hits the shot!
AWP connects, 13 seconds. Red Star's gonna have to go through the market entrance, and Poison's read this like a book. AWP out, sees his man, misses his window, but it's no time to plant it. Red Star can't get there. He'll try for it. He won't bait in Poison. It's 9-6 at the half for complexity.
Red Star just did not even look out to CT whatsoever. So focused on getting that bomb down to the B site, but the nick of time just not being there. Hard work so hard. These kills out from mid. You thought for a moment it was going to happen, but Poison just not letting that be.
And there you go. Complexity taking their CT half as appropriate. Opportunities are abound for them now as they move into the T side. Fiend, most famous for their T halves on this map. The reason why they're rated so heavily on this map is because of their T halves. Is that going to be their downfall now? Complexity flashing their way out. Top con smoke. Tap on Victor, catching off by a rush. Awkward taps from Dreamer. He comes up with a kill alongside Hahn and everything 4 versus 3. That bomb's on a site. Meanwhile, Poison gets his frag in. Late lurk from lane left towards Underpass. Going to wrap back into the site the long way round. Meanwhile, Poison's picked up, so Rush has got to do it all on his lonesome. Gets his frag in. 2v2. Knows that bubble so close. Has seen Red Star. Gets his tap back against him. And Blame F. The bomb's not planted for him. Red Star knows what's going on. He just sticks the whole 10 seconds. Blame F can't reach him in time. This will be a pistol round for Fiend.
Yeah, Runstar's holding it, but BlameF just can't do anything. The bomb's not planted for him at all. 10-second defuse just gets held, and that long lurk, it seemed like it was really going to be creating a good opportunity in the post-plant, but Fiend just got to the retake so quickly.
That's the problem, right? Like, if he had gone for a shorter rotation and gone through, like, Underpass, for instance, then yeah, that probably could have been denial, but relied so heavily on his teammates getting and holding down the site itself, but just didn't happen. Hindsight is 2020, and well, Complexity looking back at that round, wondering what they could have done better. Did get a bomb plant, so the Galils come in. AK out for Rush as well. They shoot it from Arsene. There was Underpass. He still gets the kill on Rush and takes that AK out of play immediately. Config with 2 to respond. Hahn will try and back in. Victor gets lost. So does Red Star. And Hahn now doing it all on his lonesome, but still getting a triple. Now JKS next to the face, and he gets a responsive frag in. Just holds the conversion for Complexity again.
Oh. Just take a breather after that round. So much fighting going on there for the city side. Fiend did not give up at all from the mid position. Hahn was just bailing them out of this because really a lot of them were struggling to deal with Poison and Config. Hahn gets those 2 kills, but such low HP. JKS is going to be the one to clutch out the round and now force the force buy back up for Fiend in round 18.
Scouts out of the pistols. Config seeing contact in that mid position. Smoke down out towards short. Yes, seeing the one player crossing a stack. I don't know if he himself was also seen, but either way, they'll concede mid control in its entirety.
Complexity. This round just sets them up for victory road, really. Allow yourself to go 12-7. Dreamer, though, gets that first shot out from ladder, and no trade is even back. No one's in really position to deal with Dreamer.
They were setting up the mid control there towards Underpass, so that player being lost, there was no trade potential at all. Oh, look at that move. Rush to off with a headshot, taps through the smoke, close range to another player. He does grab a MAC-10, not a rifle for it. Dreamer now looking into go down the ladder and look on a bit more of a directive short control play. Seeing Poison, Config bails him out. Now get into the site here. Scout still set for Hahn. Player at Firebox, the Incendiary does not extend far enough. Shots ringing in, backstab also set towards the ramp. The plant trying to get secured out here. Red Star tag, Victor finds JKS though. 2 left standing. Poison, 2 close. Oh, Victor goes huge. 3 kills for him. What a play with the Deagle.
Just not being checked at all out from Firebox. They don't even get the molly through. It goes out to default instead, and just everything falls apart so quickly. They start running out of players. Config's the only one to even get a pick for that Complexity side. Victor, the timing and the spacing between some of those kills. 3 with a Deagle altogether.
Perfect shooting from the man. A perfect round for Fiend. 10-8. 2 rounds are the difference. Complexity again having a struggle and a half here on their T side. Very quick palace dive, it seems, coming out from the plug in the bomb plant. Try over the rifles for Victor, and Bubble hold down everybody. Nades up. Config not quite dead yet. He does get a kill back to Scout involved. Config can't double, and they can get a bomb plant here.
And they're going to try to... Oh, he just gets it down in time. He's burning to the volley. And now the hero AK's got a chance of stepping up to do some further damage. That is a decent round for Complexity. They've got enough money in the reserve to get a buy forward into the next. They got the extra cash injection of the bomb plant and 3 kills. Fiend will be kicking themselves they lost too much to that.
There are kinks in the armor here for the Complexity side, so one of the most perfect to buy. I'm looking at Blame F most importantly. He brought down to $500 in that previous round, but like you mentioned, hero AK did enough damage there to get that 3rd frag involved in the end. The AK's out for everybody else here. No ult potential for the T side, and MAC-10 in for Blame F instead. And it's not even that terrible of a weapon for him. And the M4 Dreamer has no helmet with his Kevlar. Red Star is the man to watch for now. 6-1 in duels against Rush, so he's denied those Rush plays, and he's denied Complexity pretty well so far in this one. Right now, it plays into the defaults here, step towards ramp, peeking against Han, he gets the shot in on Config.
A beautiful first shot to open up, and even Victor's just waiting for the Palace dive. And for Complexity, how dry about this approach are they really going to be? Still going to lurk out towards sort of that underpass area from Rush, and Complexity mid, they're not even really interested in it.
They can't afford to be dry with this. It's best to go for the set piece, but in the end, the Smokesters not in position, poisons at Palace. The MF is on ramp here. They've got a minute and 10 to adjust against it, but it's just going to be that top con smoke, it seems. Rush caught off by Bubble, past the smoke down bot con. And Han is AWP forced away. Sprays through on Poison, captures him, damage. Victor gets his kill, and he sees JKS as well. Playback 1v5. And not a lick of damage done to Fiend. A perfect round for them, 10 all.
That's a really confident round. You get that first pick in from Han, you start playing it out quite passive, and Complexity just have to try and work with the bomb and co out from that Palace position. Victor even just giving a pick, trying to fall back that second shot onto JKS up from the corner of the smoke. And Complexity, well, they got no money now, and, well, the start here on T side, it looked good when they won the force buy, but that's all that they've managed so far.
And the Deagle's out for Cole. Fiend have the double AWPs and the AKs to spare for here. There's not a lot available for the Complexity side, so we're looking at this eco then turning into a decent gun round. But now it should be ripping apart here for this B execution. They got a bomb plant, they could be happy.
It's very deep and passive for Fiend. They're giving a lot of respect to allowing the bomb plant to go down. Both the crossfire between Market and Short, I don't even know if they can stop the bomb from going down.
Tag on the Power Rush gets tagged up by Dreamer. The bomb does cost him in the end. Look for the plant as well. They got a couple of kills out of this, but man advantage still maintained here by the CT. Forces them on top. Bomb does get caught back next. The plant will be secured, so any more damage to come through, drop the second or perhaps. I mean, Red Star's low. Racing towards the AK and Victor. He transfers back towards one man, and Red Star does get caught by Poison. Damage done to the second player. All right for him to pick up. He's still going to look for the Eagle shots, and they know exactly where he is. Continuous nades pouring in against him from the CT line. Going to line up, do some damage. Does not get Han. So 2 players remain in play. But again, Complexity, 3 casualties, bomb plant. That's good.
And they're keeping the rounds really, really close, and it's not giving a lot of breathing room to the economy at all for the CT side. The only difference is, though, no matter how close these rounds are and no matter how much damage is coming through, if you're not converting over on this T side, you're just going to keep giving momentum up for Fiend. Finally, they take a little bit of a lead. And for Fiend, they've had to work here. We know that their Mirage is their best map in the map pool. They've played it nearly 40 times in the last 3 months, only lost it 6 times. And typically, it's very close scorelines, or again, it's top-level competition they're facing.
Flashes over. Han caught by Config. No. Fantastic kill to open up, and Poison steals the second one with AWP. 5 on 3 is Fiend fragged out of mid. Dreamer next to face from Short. And he's going down all the same. What a force forward from the T side. This is the Complexity that we came to watch.
It absolutely is. They've even got eyes out from window, and just the first mistake being made from Han, he got caught on the wall, didn't he? He was blinded, so his vision was certainly obstructed, but he could not get back into connector, and from there, it's just a road. Play off the synchronization of what the moves are being made. So many of those angles being read. Blame F getting towards the top of connector, pushing in front of that smoke. The AWP from Poison holding in from window. And even just the aggressive move from Config up from Short. What a beautiful round for the internationals.
And a tactical timeout called in by Fiend here. A very rare set of timeouts. We haven't seen many from both sides at all in this series. Their second one for the Fiend side here in this particular map-up. As again, they have been squared up to evens. Complexity, well, given the runaround in the last map, now they're doing the same thing to Fiend, but they could very easily take this map and take a 2-0 here.
I don't know about very easily, but it could be on. You're up 11-11. It just comes to some of these swing rounds, doesn't it? Having a look at the money in the reserve, there isn't a lot there. And for Complexity, they have got a lot of players to start out from the apartments.
Flashes out, Incendiary's inbound, Dreamer watching out, not going to get caught off. The M4 does get dealt with a dropout. Poison also finds Red Star, and that's a 5 on 3, already a saving from Fiend.
Yeah, nothing you can do there, can ya? Just hold on to your weapons, hope that you don't get hunted. You got a real late alert from BlameF. He's outside of Palace.
Oh, Han. Picking up config past that smoke, and BlameF is hunting for Victor. Patch turns. Oh dear. He's a goner. Down and out. That's more damage to sustain for Fiend here with no buy in the next round. Like,
ooh.
Hold on. No, JKS deals with it. Had he got that kill, though, that could have been enough to get into the defuse, I think. Not to be in the end. Han left alone with Yorp.
What do you think about that play? I look at the economy and think, yeah, there was a chance, right? He gets that kill onto JKS and just dives on that bomb straight away. But what is the chance that that play actually comes through? The AWP is trying to get hunted, but it's not going to happen. That, to me, just looks too desperate for Bubble. Like, he's trying to make a play that is just not going to happen.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. I think that does look like desperation, and I feel like that it's not a play you should really go for. I think that given the money state, it would have been a smarter idea to hold on to those weapons. At least have an M4 around the AWP to protect the AWP, so that way they get it into the next round. That way they can afford a pretty good rifle buy. Money's looking weak here for Fiend, of course, down to the eco. Not even a half invest can be justified here for the CT forces. I mean, if they had won that particular ninja, then that would have been everything, but... Lead game for complexity instead, and Fiend being in the pressure now.
Yeah, they really are. And you start looking back to that OG game, don't you, in the semi-finals of the last cup, and you can see the cracks. You can see the holes that are just getting exploited. Han posted quite wide on the short position, trying to get that first frag, move back to safety. Nicely done to start.
Yeah, on the first, Rush turns it around, sees Red start as well. Pistol's got no chance against the gun. There it is. 2 players left for the CT side. And, well, this round going about as well as they expected it to. AWP not staying in, unfortunately, here for Fiend, so there is going to be a couple of limitations here for this next buyback. Enhanced at $3,600. I'm not sure what the loss bonus looks like. I'd imagine it probably is around the 2,400 marker. Might just that be enough to justify it in a glass cannon fashion, but that depends on whether or not they want to, you know, justify the glass cannon in particular. BlameF does lose his life to Dreamer Cran, grab that AK, that's something for them. Even then he's being hunted down by the T-side forces, there's no guarantee he stays in. With Distant indeed, poisoned with the P250, takes the rifle away. Marlon's got $6,000, a slightly more amount of loss bonus than I initially thought, so... Should be an AWP out for him, the rifles can come out.
I'd love to see another tactical from Fiend, just slow it down, know that you've lost 3 rounds in a row, because I almost look at this rifle round as being the last decent chance. Down by 2, you lose this one, only on 2,900 loss bonus, it's not up to max round just yet. And complexity, they could be on 15 before you know it.
So our positions into the mid control, got Rush knocking out of the apartments, Poison with the smoke up and over into the top composition. Smoke's back in from the CT forces out towards the short control. Dreamer's going to try and suppress them. The M4 ready to round the corner. Flashback perfect. Spray from config gets 2. Red Star very long range in the back lines, and again complexity with these entries win the round in an instant.
That was class. That's all I can say. With that peak coming through from config, the way they used the util, they even had the AWP posted to try and see if they could just hunt onto those last couple of players. The more economical damage they do into dropping these last couple could just make the biggest differences in the world.
There's going to be 14 for complexity once again. No money for Fiend. Still trying to build up that loss bonus. Still trying to build in some decent buyback. On. I think a leg shot on that one, but not enough to get the kill. And the second phase goes on the frag. Poison falls in turn. They do find the pick back to return here. All 5 weapons drop. The CT's having a nightmare to close out their map.
And that's such a tough one because even for Bubble, he goes back into Palace and he's got to deal with config. He goes out of Palace and he's got 2 players to deal with. You're just getting sandwiched. So it's a difficult situation. Config, how in that position he was able to almost line up 2 kills without even really needing to deviate his crosshair very far at all, did he?
No, the transfer wasn't even like a big transfer. It was just like probably an inch to the left. That was about it. He gets the opening kill for this round as well. Victor. Dreamer, 2 players to fall here on the eco to upgrade pistols. Fiend are looking for the buyback into overtime. They're going to go 15-11 down. Grind that to 15 all. That is the strategy here, but will it come true? Complexity, get away with this one easy. The guns into round 27, that will be important.
Yeah, Red Star just begging for anything. Just something, a pick, an AK to be saved. But for Complexity, just the hunts have been so damn successful these last few rounds, and it's just meant that Economy has just been wrecked round by round. Up to 15, and Fiend, it has been a tough day, a really tough day for them. And I'd even say that they looked a little bit more in it on Nuke than they are on their map pick. We said it was a bit of a risk picking into Mirage because it is a strong map for Complexity.
Absolutely. 100% agree with you. They look better on Nuke than they did right here, and Complexity are making them feel the pain. It's so weird watching Mirage, a map that Fiend have dominated every team they faced off against here, start falling in favour of the opponent. I realise, again, that's lacking some crucial context, but even so, having casted very many Fiend matches, it's just one of those ones where it's like, it's just a bit of a shock, you know, a bit of a shock.
Complexity, oh, they're even going to rush B, they're going to send it.
Oh my god, oh, Brett starts in trouble. Gets the kill on config, at least Dreamer can follow suit on Rush, and maybe the Rush tactic was not a good idea. Poison gets 1 return, CTs are on their way back up towards Market. Poison dealt with by Red Star, 2 left standing. Burst through, JKS gets his response. Han chimes back in, it's all to blame F. Bomb at his feet, gotta pick it up, Sealer, 1 man, but cannot transfer his crosshair to Bubble. And Fiend will stay alive for now.
They just recovered that secondary AWP too off of Poison out from the apartment, so chuck that over to Red Star if you like. Get Han and him doubling up. And it's survival rounds. Round by round, you've got to take it. 3 more to go to try and take it to overtime for Fiend. 1 more to go for Complexity. And there's still so much money behind them, even after this investment.
I got 10k average across most of the players, like 11k average across everybody there from Complexity. Money's so good they can buy into the next couple of rounds as well, I imagine. Have lost that first pick on config, so that's a start for the Fiend side. Han getting involved. Again, the double ops out for him and for Red Star. Fiend surviving every round that they need to here.
The Poison. Oh, Bubble just swinging out from that stairs position. No info, no utility over the top, and that's the advantage lost.
I'm facing a ticket who's going to bait in. Poison to the left as Han finds JKS, so you know where that AWP is at least. Man advantage regained here by Fiend, but still Complexity are pushing the issue here towards the A site. Poison's burning, 52 HP for him. Counter flashes, incendiaries out, no one's on shore. Smoke down towards that connected position, get it suppressed, and that's what they'll do here. The bomb needs to cross back to site, and out of jungle, Dreamer swings, and Poison gets caught for it.
Rush going to try and get the bomb down. Flame's going to try and defend from so many different angles. Victor just swinging wide out from CT, getting the last couple, getting that defuse forward, and even just Dreamer making a really big play. He pushed in front of that volley and caught off Poison looking the other way.
And Fiend find their 13th rushes. Extra bomb plant will make sure the economy stays in. It's a decent control. Obviously, it's still going to be a buyback for them regardless, but there's a bit more for Poison to rebuy the AWP and still have confidence set of the util here. Another buyback will be in for round 30 if necessary, but Complexity need to shut it down here. Fiend are back in control. The momentum is with them. Orb in on Poison, ready for Bubble the first phase. Flashes initially for the CT side, but no one gets caught.
This is where it starts getting really scary, when it gets quiet. The Bubble being punished in these last couple of rounds for some of those overfaces, even recovering the situation once they lose that pick. Oh, this crossfire, firebox and default. Don't see this every day.
One player back over at CT spawn as well. And at the sniper's nest might be a bit caught off. They're going to work into the mid control. I think they might go for the connector split in as well. Top con smoke, bot con smoke. Molotovs in as well. The CT side going to suppress complexity for the time being. 60 seconds remain.
It seems like they've got the read. This has to be an A split for complexity, and there's 3 CTs on A.
Isn't walking up. Config moving in. Bubble. Watching for play there. Catching that frag. Great kill for him. Incendiaries out. Watching Mirage next up. He gets his double. Dreamer drops the bomb. Spray through on JKS. Returns.